This is David Mamet of Lottodds. It is February 9th, 2016. All right, I just want to make this video because I hadn't made one in a few days, and I just want to let you know what I'm up to. I am working with my very talented mathematician and programmer, and we are just finishing up the prediction tool for, pick 3 and pick 4 on Lottodds. I'm also working on Cache 5 we started working on, and for some features there, so we could create a type of prediction feature on there and to help eliminate many of the charts and numbers so we can narrow down the winner. I want to show you what we've been working on. I've mentioned this in the past videos, but just to let you know, for I'm going to concentrate just on Cache 5. Cache 5, actually, let me mention pick 3 and pick 4. We're working on adding here the odd, even patterns for pick 3 and pick 4. Then on Cache 5, what we're working on is working on the group patterns that goes along with the number ranges and the odd, even patterns. And when I say odd, even patterns, I mentioned this in the past in videos. When you look at a lottery number, say any lottery numbers, you'll have a foundation that every lottery number sits on, and it'll be an odd, even pattern foundation. I think a lot of people could easily determine that by just looking at the numbers. You got even, odd, 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 even, and they differ. Okay, so these are odd, even patterns. How many people know that there are 32 of those patterns? 32. So there are millions of numbers if you have Powerball and Mega Millions or Pick 6, right? But there are only 32 odd even foundation that those millions of numbers sit on. So what does that tell you? It tells you if you can eliminate some or a lot of those foundations, okay, you could eliminate thousands to millions of lottery numbers that you don't have to play. Okay, for example, you see this first number here, 18? Look at the numbers before it. Odd, 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 odd. 1, 2, 3, 4. What was the chances that an even was going to come out next? Very high chance, right? So if you could have just looked at that and said, you know what? I had 1, 2, 3, 4 odds come out previously. I think an even is about to come out because they tend to come out after every 3 odds. Okay, rotation, at least for the New Jersey lottery. Okay, if you were able to determine that, guess what? You just knocked out half of the odd even patterns. Okay, because there are 32. Half of them obviously are odd, half of them are even. So if this number you figured out was going to be even, you just knocked out all the odd, all the patterns that start with odd, and that is thousands to millions of numbers just like that. And there are other ways of doing it if you look at my videos. Now, this is only the first step to starting to predict something like a Cache 5 or Pick 5 number. And this works for all state lotteries with 5-number kind of lottery. Okay, this is just the first step. You've got to be able to predict the correct pattern that may come out next. Okay? The next step, what do you have to do? And I know that millions of people never think about this. You have to think about group patterns now, not just the odd even patterns, but group patterns. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. All right, so first you've got to think about is odd even patterns, and then when I talk about here number 2, the number ranges, they always stay the same practically. You see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different number ranges between the parentheses. Okay, that's what you work with. Because for example, Cache 5 at New Jersey, you could always insert your own numbers for your state. This is what you're dealing with for New Jersey, okay? From 1 to 43, those are the lottery balls and numbers that they work with for New Jersey, okay? So these are the number ranges, right? Now, the number patterns right there, do you see that? When I say number patterns, it's 1s, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s. Let me show you New Jersey website. Here, look, first number here. What's 18? 18 is 10 to 19. Here, 23 is 20 to 29. 31 and 33 are 30 to 39, and 40 is 40 to 43. This is one group pattern. This is 2 group patterns. So we talked about odd even patterns. Now we're talking about group patterns. Because if you get the odd-even pattern correct, meaning if you were correct in saying that this was going to come out even, odd, 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 even, guess what? You could still lose because you did not get the group pattern correct, meaning that you did not get here the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s correct, grouped, okay? Now, yes, there are a limited amount of group numbers as well, group patterns, I should say. There's a little bit over 100. I worked it out with my mathematician, okay? And there are ways how to reduce the group patterns so drastically. For example, yesterday I was able to reduce over 100 group patterns, okay, by the number of patterns that came out in the lottery, that I was left with only 2 group patterns. That's right, only 2 group patterns that I was left with. What would you do with that? Okay, you take your odd even numbers with the group patterns. Let me show you something. Hold on. Here. All right, this is the group patterns we've been working on pulled up. Okay, ignore the 0 and 9. It's actually supposed to be 1 and 9. But anyway, there's a little over 100 here for the New Jersey Lottery, right? Because you have balls 1 to 43. All right, so these is how the group patterns look like. Okay, so you got the 32 odd even patterns. Let me see if I could pull that up. Here you go. Here's the 32 odd even patterns. Look how they look like. If I could get my Word document to work. Hold on. Now we got to wait for this document whenever it decides to work with us, cooperate. Oh, there you go. It's got an attitude. Anyway, all right, so here is the odd even patterns. See that? There's 32 of them. See how half of them are odd? Okay, and the other half are even, right? This is an odd even pattern. Then this is the group pattern. They work together. How many people do you think of this? Okay? When they're picking the numbers, okay? The majority of people, maybe 99.99, don't even pick the numbers this way. That means they're picking the numbers the wrong way, and they're most likely going to lose. And if you don't pick your numbers this way, you're most likely going to continue losing. If you really want to win, if you truly want to win, the higher lotteries like pick 5, 6, and Mega Millions of Powerball, you must pick your lottery numbers in this manner, this way. This is the correct way to do it. This is how you could predict the next lottery winner and give yourself the highest odds of winning. Okay? You've got to first predict the odd even pattern. Okay? You got to start with that. If you can't even predict the odd even pattern of those numbers, that the foundation that all lotteries numbers sit on, if you can't even predict the odd even pattern that's going to come out next in the winner, then you have no chance of winning. You're not going to win no matter what numbers you choose. Okay, pretty much. Because you don't have the odd even numbers correct. Okay, you can't even choose that. How could you choose your numbers correctly? Unless it's, unless it's some kind of miracle or something like that. Okay, so now look at this. All right, and then the next thing you have to do, okay, working within the number ranges, like I mentioned before, working within the number ranges, you have to now take your odd even pattern that you predicted and you have to punch them in to these right here, group pattern, okay? Remember the group patterns we talked about. So like here, example, New Jersey Lottery, the group patterns change all the time, okay? So that means you could take so many of them and you could remove them from this list. You could just remove them, okay? And so you'll have a few left. Like I was working with only 2 yesterday. That's it. So I could have took my prediction, okay, my odd even prediction, okay, whichever what it was, and I could just, what do I do with it? Punch it into the group pattern, all right, whatever it is. All right, let me pull that up again. Here it is. Okay, so for example, let's see here. So if I thought the next group pattern was, let me give you an example. I'll give you a reasonable example. A reasonable example would be something like, let me see, a lot of these you could delete right off the bat immediately, like this. I mean, come on, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Well, this is a good one. 2 10s, 2 20s, and 140. All right. So you start with this. Okay. So if you say, for example, You picked, where is the odd even? Hold on a second. All right. Say, for example, you said that the next number you thought was going to be here like this. You're going to be even, even, odd, even, right? Even, even, odd, even, right? All right. So, and you choose this group pattern here, right? You choose the tens, two 20s, and a 40, right? All right, so you take it even. The first one's going to be even. Second one's going to be even. The third one's going to be even. The fourth one's going to be odd, and the fifth one is going to be even. So you pick. So here in the first one, since it's even from 10 to 19, what are your even numbers? 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Those are the numbers that you pick. Now, if the previous number came out and was 18, then you probably not play 18. So you have even less numbers to play with. 10, 12, 14, 16, right? 4. So you have in the first number, you have 4 numbers to choose from to punch into there, right? So what can you do with that? You can then pick, you could put 4 numbers you could choose to play and pick the 10 to start with, and then the 12 to start with, then the next, your 14 to start with, then the 16 to start with, and then you go on to the second number, okay? And the second number was what? Let's see here. Let me pull out again. The second number was an even also. So here you go. You got that too. Okay, and then you look your past numbers and you look what came out there. You play like that. Okay. Now I just want to let you know something. It might sound complicated to you, but it isn't at all. But I'm going to tell you something really good. I'm going to automate this. Yep, that's what we're working on. We're going to automate this, meaning that the Lotto odds is going to look at the past winning numbers of each lottery state, and it's going to see the patterns, identify the patterns, and it's going to go on charts like this, like Cash 5 charts. See, I'm Cash 5. It's going to go something like this, and it's going to look at the numbers, and it's going to determine. You're going to see here. There's going to be boxes on the side here, on the right side here. One's going to be odd even pattern, next going to be group patterns, and it's going to automatically shut off odd even patterns and group patterns that correspond to a certain specific proprietary algorithm that we're implementing within our code. And it will automatically shut this down. You could turn it back on yourself manually, but it'll automatically shut it down to pinpoint where the numbers are that have the highest odds of winning. So you don't have to do this yourself. You could do this within seconds by using Lotto odds. Then there's going to be a heat map. Okay, let me see if I could pull up a heat map in here. Let me show you if it pulls up. It should be in red. You'll see red and black or something like that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, so you see it's all in red here. All right, hold on. Let me show you. Let me just pull back because I want to get some black ones out here. No, let's see. All right, let me see. Try one time. Hold on, just bear with me. Went too far. Not much. Let's get this November 1st. Let's see what we got there. Look at that. Just bumped me out. Just bear with me 1 second. Just want to show you this. All right, we're going to go to 18. All right, we're back here. Open that up. All right, let's go just to January 1st. Let me show you what I'm trying to pull up here. Yeah, so let's go to February. I don't know why it's doing that. There, that's what I'm looking for. All right, so you'd be able to go back like a week or two, whatever, and this is what you'll see. You see the black numbers? That means that's showing in the red numbers. The red numbers are showing you where the Lotto machines and Lotto balls are hitting. You see the numbers in the last week, okay, from February 1st to February 9th. It's showing you where the Lotto balls are hitting every day, right? So it's a heat map. It's a heat map. Look at here. Look at this winner here, okay? Let's see, this is 2005. But this is an example. You'd see something like this. See this here? See 18, 19, 23, 26, 31. That is hot. Okay, that's telling you that the lotto balls and machines are hitting all these numbers. That means if this hasn't won yet, it's a big high chance it could win next. Okay, the numbers that you see that are all red, these are on the heat map. These are telling you where the lotto balls and lotto machines are hitting. Okay, and the ones you see these numbers here, okay, where you have the black in the middle, this is telling you, hey, listen, this is a loser, man. Excuse my language. This is a loser. You know, the chance of you winning this is, for now, with a lot of machines, a lot of balls that they're using, you're not going to win. Okay? Chances are you're not going to win. Okay? So you look at where it has all red. It's hot like fire. All right, so this is the heat map that we're going to be creating and upgrading. And then you'll have the odd even numbers and the group patterns. Okay, so odd even patterns and group patterns that automatically turn off, meaning automatically remove these numbers. So when you come in here, you'll see a few numbers left, and bingo, the chances of the winner being in one of those numbers that are still out there is very high. Okay, and you could come out here and start choosing from those numbers. All right, so that's what we're working on now. So it's taking time. That's why we weren't able to get to other states. We'll do that after we finish the pick 3 and pick 4 prediction tool. All right, I wish you luck.